Hey everybody, welcome back here to A Place to Heal. And I promised you in my last video I was going to do a video for a company that contacted me, and they wanted me to check out their weighted blanket. Now, most companies that contact me know that I'm not just going to take a product and check out the product and put it on my YouTube channel. I'm actually going to go in, and I have my granddaughter with me today because we actually received the blanket, I'd say about a week ago, and I tested it out for 3 days, and then she's tested it out for 3 days, and we wanted to give you our reviews on a gravity blanket or a weighted blanket, okay? Because I guess that's what they're calling them now, is weighted blankets. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest and let you know that I had never heard about weighted blankets or gravity blankets before. And my daughter kind of laughed at me because she works with people who have Alzheimer's. And she's like, Mom, she goes, these things have been around like forever. Because they have them as lap blankets, not full blankets like this. This is actually the blanket right here. And you can see, this is a pretty...
It's a queen size bed.
Yeah, this is actually a king size bed.
Oh.
Yeah, this is actually a king size bed. And I mean, it's... Okay, if I lay it the other way, it would only be for me. It's like a full. But if I lay it this way, it takes up the entire bed. So I wanted to get into this and let you know about this blanket. This blanket is from Dozeology. They've been very nice to contact me. They wanted me to do a product review on them, and a product review on their blanket, and I decided that I would because there's no chemicals. There's no side effects. There's nothing unnatural about it. So I was very happy with it. So I'm going to tell you my experience with the blanket, and then I'm going to let her tell you her experience with the blanket. And it's kind of weird, but okay, so both of us as children experienced a lot of physical and emotional trauma, which I guess these blankets are absolutely great for. We had two different experiences. With my experience, I have a really bad problem with being confined. I feel like I'm going to be smothered. I don't like small spaces. I don't like to drive in small cars. I don't like small rooms. I like, as you can tell, I got the window behind me. I like a lot of sunshine and airy and open. So when I received the blanket, I had a really hard time with it because the minute I put it on my legs, I was like, oh, okay, whoa, this is hard for me. So I had to get up, and what I ended up doing was I just sat up like I'm doing now, and I just laid it on my legs. And I picked up a book, and I just began reading. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can deal with this. This is good. See, all this childhood trauma. See? You're going to be 50, and you're going to be going, yeah, that damn childhood trauma. And it was just like, okay, but then it was kind of weird because I started reading my book, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to get really tired. Wow, I don't understand why I'm getting really tired. And at that point, it was really easy for me to lay down and get underneath the weight of the blanket, which what I understand is this one is about 15 pounds. They do have them heavier. They do have them lighter. But this precise blanket is 15 pounds. So my experience was I fell asleep very fast. I don't have a problem staying asleep, but I do have a problem falling asleep. And I did fall asleep very fast. Did you find that you fell asleep really fast?
I don't fall asleep fast.
You didn't fall asleep
I
fast?
fell asleep a little bit faster than I usually
Than you normally do. I fell asleep faster than I normally do. And they say that the reason for this is because once you use a weighted blanket, it increases the serotonin in your brain, and it also increases the melatonin. Which, as I told you a few videos back, if you increase the melatonin in your system, women have a less chance of getting breast cancer. So for me, that was great on both counts. So I did fall asleep a little faster, and I never had problems staying asleep, but in the morning, I did not want to get up. I was like, ain't nobody getting me up out of this bed and out from underneath this blanket. No way. I had the absolute best sleep that I have had in years. I can actually vouch for that. And when I did look up some of the stuff, it does, one of the things is it does help you fall asleep faster, and it helps you sleep more deeply, right? So after 2 days or 3 days of using this blanket, I then passed it over to my granddaughter, who has had different issues with abuse. So her issues were different than my issues. So how did you view the blanket? How was the blanket for you?
Well, it didn't give me a better sleep.
It did?
Yes. It doesn't, I don't really have any dreams at all. I usually had a lot of dreams, like mostly about my past, but like really I don't have any dreams with this.
So you were having nightmares, right, about past and traumas and stuff, but with the blanket, while you were using the blanket, you did not have any of the trauma dreams.
Yes.
Probably because of the weight, right? Because they say you go into a deeper sleep. So, okay, I can see that.
Yeah. So I also really like the blanket because every morning when I woke up, I would always wake up very happy.
So it made you wake up in a better mood.
Yeah.
Than you normally, okay. And you only started noticing this since using the blanket?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? Did you find, well, one of the things that you told me one morning, she was like, I'm shocked because I don't like her sleeping in bed with me because this is a child that will literally, I will wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and she's got her feet in my face and, she's like doing acrobats all over the bed. And she said, I was amazed because when I used the blanket, it kept me in one spot. It kept me nice and calm, and I wasn't all over the bed. I wasn't moving all over the bed. Because of the weight of it, right. So, did you notice anything else?
Those are really like the good things. One thing, because it's so heavy, it's like I really can't move around a lot. And for me, it takes me forever to get comfortable.
Yeah.
So with this blanket, it's hard for me to get comfortable.
Right.
But eventually I do get comfortable because I end up falling asleep.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's the problem with a lot of people is they can't get comfortable, and so you're tossing, you're turning, and finally the weight of the blanket is what keeps you, in one spot. So the blanket is supposed to promote calmness. It is, it's also been used for pain. So when you have pain, like right now, I can tell you, I had a pretty hardcore trampoline workout today. We worked out legs, and my legs were aching and they were tired. And just from laying here and having it sitting on my legs, it feels like I just took an aspirin. It feels good on my legs. I can feel it taking the pain out of my legs. So I can vouch for that also. It helps decrease your cortisol level. So it helps with stress. It helps decrease your heart rate, your blood pressure. I mean, these are all things that I have done research on. The company did not tell me to say this. I actually did my own research, and checked all this out. It helps with sensory disorders. Like I was just telling you earlier, I have a really bad sensory disorder. I'm just like, oh, that's too much. I can't deal with that. And it instantly helped with that sensory disorder. My granddaughter is the type of person, I don't know if you've ever watched those sensory videos where they like, you know, they make like the noises and, you know, and the chewing.
Satisfying videos.
Huh?
Satisfactory videos.
Satisfactory video, I guess that's what they, those drive me nuts. I'm just like, stop that. I just can't. I can't do those sensory videos. I have a sensory issue.
I love those.
She loves them, on the other hand. So, like I said, you know, different traumas. So we're giving you a perspective from 2 different traumas, and it worked for both of us, no matter which one it is. Weighted vests have been used for pets during thunderstorms. So this is kind of around that same idea. You know, you put the weighted vest on the pet, they feel like they're, you know, supported, and it helps them get through this thunderstorm, or pets who have been through a lot of trauma. Teachers and therapists have been using weighted lap, you know, blankets for a very long time. My daughter says that they use them in the home where she works at with the Alzheimer's patients. They say it works wonderful with Alzheimer's patients. And it also works for restless leg, which, I mean, right now, I can tell that it would work for that. So when I ordered this blanket, it came from Amazon. I'll be putting the link below. And you can also check them out at Dozeology.com. You can check out all their stuff. And it comes in a nice solid box, because of course this is very heavy. So, you know, it did come in a nice solid box. Now, when you open this box, up in the top, at the very top, it comes wrapped in plastic, so everything's nice. And up at the top, you're going to be given a link inside the box. And you want to use that to get, oops, I just blocked everything. You want to use that because that link will take you to get a free mask. My daughter was like, oh, I want that. She always sleeps with one. She goes, oh my God, that one's awesome. So this one is actually one of the nicest masks that I have ever seen. It's got the inlets for the eyes, you know. It's got the whole little thing to block everything out. I love it, and it's nice and soft.
I don't like masks.
You know, I know. Some people.
Darkness.
Now, see me, I'm the opposite, right? I have to have the room nice, and I don't like any light. She likes to have light in her room. So, like I said, different traumas react different ways. This is awesome for all sorts of stuff. But in order to get this, and this is actually a $22 value, so you don't want to let that go. So if you order the blanket, you definitely want to use that link on the inside to get your mask. Now, the cover, I want to hit this real quick. A lot of the research that I did, this one runs about $140. But here's what I found out during my research. I started looking at the ones and checking out all the feedback from people who had only paid like $50, $60, maybe $100 for their blanket. And the cheaper blankets, everybody said, because these have little weighted balls throughout the blanket. So a lot of people were complaining that everything bunched over to the sides, or the balls shifted, or the balls were real coarse, or it ended up breaking and they ended up having balls everywhere. So this one actually has, you can get this in white. I got the gray because it of course blends, which I don't think I'm going to be keeping this blanket for some reason. I think it's been abducted into her room, and I don't think I'll be seeing it again. So much for that purchase. But so this one has it has the great duvet cover, which I love, right? Because it has a zipper, right? So if it gets dirty or whatever, you can take it out. And now my mom was a seamstress when I was younger, so I'm pretty good at everything that is sewing machine. So I love this because, as you can see, it's got little tiny diamonds. Okay, I checked some of the cheaper ones out, and they had huge diamonds. So the weighted balls all, you know, collected to one side, and then, you know, it was all even. This one has little diamond shapes, as you can see, and if you feel it, the little balls are little tiny BBs, but it almost feels like it's size of a pinhead. So it's kind of cool. The sewing on this is absolutely exceptional, which I love. And then it has an area here where you can actually connect it, or you can take it off, and you can take that off to wash it, and you can zip everything back up, and it's nice. So everything stayed nice and even. I didn't have balls going. So a lot of the research that I did, it was people complaining about that the diamond pattern was too big and the balls shifted too much. The balls were too large. The balls were too rough. The balls were falling out because the stitching was done really bad. I mean, there was a lot of complaints. No covers. So if this got dirty, I mean, how would you even wash a 15-pound blanket? You'd have to take it to the laundromat. So I think I got really lucky with this company and with everything that they got. This one, the cover is included, and like I said, you can get it in gray or in white. And the blanket is a 60 by 80. Okay, so here's what the blanket helps with.
Can I say the main things it helps with?
I'll take this aisle. Yeah, I'll take this aisle. You take that aisle.
No, I want to say something.
All right, this one. Start with that. Autism, Asperger's syndrome, PTSD. I can totally see PTSD. Insomnia, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, sensory processing disorder, trouble sleeping, restless leg syndrome, dementia, ADD and ADHD, Down syndrome, epilepsy, Rett syndrome, Parkinson's disease, Tourette's, trauma, bipolar, cerebral palsy, stress, chemotherapy, chronic pain. I've got to say, overall, I mean, and the care instructions are pretty easy. It's a machine wash cold with, you know, on the gentle cycle, you tumble dry, you don't dry clean this. And they recommend just washing the cover. I mean, unless something horrible happens, like, you know, someone ends up urinating through it, or which can happen, you know, when you have kids with autism and ADHD and everything else. So there you go. So overall, I'm extremely, extremely happy that I said yes, that I would do a review for the company. I absolutely love the blanket so much, and I know it's already been confiscated because she told me this morning, you're not getting your blanket back. So I will be purchasing my own blanket so that I can have one, because after I slept with it for 3 days and I had to give it up, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to sleep without this now. So that would definitely, I would think, you know, even, I would have loved this, I think, even during my pregnancy. I think it would have been so comforting to wear. Yes, to wear. Yes, for the baby. I would love that. Now, I don't know if that's okay. I'm just going in my head, but I would think that I would love that. I would have loved that. Another thing that I know it doesn't mention it is during enemas. I think that I would love to have this on while I do enemas. No?
I sleep with this.
When I get my own.
Oh, yeah.
So I that it would be very comforting to have it on for like 5 minutes before I start, and it just would be so comforting to do that while I did my enemas, just for anything. My problem is, how would I take this everywhere? Because I don't really want to take it everywhere, because it really is very addicting once you get hooked on it. And I know that road trip. I know that they're very popular, because just when I mentioned it during my last video, I had a bunch of comments. Just, oh, my son can't sleep without it. Oh, my sister loves it. Oh, my child has this, and he just loves it. And so I think for children, it would be absolutely wonderful.
I also think for animals.
For animals?
Because we have a dog and a cat.
And they're drawn to the blanket.
Yes.
The dog and the cat are drawn
like
to the blanket.
Coco, I feel like he gets a better sleep too. Because
the dog, I can't get the dog up in the morning to go to the bathroom. Man, I used to get up in the morning and I used to open my door and that dog would come flying out and ready to go outside. I walk into the bedroom and I'm like, Coco, come on, we gotta go. And he's like, he looks like he's drugged up.
He sleeps under the blanket too, and he stays there.
Yeah, he likes to get under the blanket. And so if an animal is attracted to it, I don't know. I cannot say enough wonderful things about
and he's had a lot of trauma too.
And he's had a lot of trauma. That dog, the reason I adopted him is because he fit right into our family. That dog was horribly, horribly, horribly abused and beat up and hit and everything else, and treated horribly, just horribly, locked up, pinned down, you name it. And
he even goes to sleep earlier than he usually does.
Yeah, and the dog loves it. He'll crawl underneath it, and he just loves it. And when I had it on my bed, because the cat's mine, the dog's hers, and the cat would come and she would be with me. So I want to thank, Dozeology so much for allowing me the privilege to check out their blanket and to give my reviews on it, because I really, like I said, I know it's been confiscated, so I'll have to get my own. All right, so there's your suggestions for the week, how to make your life a little happier.
It might be
a little
very
healthier,
expensive, but it's totally worth it.
Here's what I think about expensive, right? Okay, because here's my take on expensive. It's where your priorities lie. I've actually had people tell me, I don't want to pay $60 for a consultation because I feel that that's too much money. But yet the whole time they're telling me this, I'm looking at their picture and they're holding this dog, and I'll ask them, I said, well, how much did you pay to have your dog groomed? Oh, $55. She does such a great job. I'm like, oh, so you're willing to pay $55 to have your dog groomed and think nothing of it, but $60 for a consultation for your health, to make yourself healthy. You're willing to continue on staying unhealthy. So for me, this is not expensive at all, because my priorities lie in my happiness and my health, and the happiness and the health of my grandchildren. And if this is helping her that much, where it's making her wake up with a better attitude in the morning and a better sleep and being healthier, and that's going to support her immune system, I mean, you can't put a price on that. You just can't. So, before you start thinking that way, think of how much you spend on, on Starbucks. Stupid stuff. I mean, crazy, stupid stuff. I teach a cardio class, and people like $4 for a cardio class, but they think nothing of going up to the bar and ordering $4 for the Starbucks coffee right after their workout. It's like, what the heck? It's crazy. So you got to put your priorities in line. And the most important thing is staying happy,
staying healthy,
and loving and respect one another. Give the blanket a try. I mean, it is definitely up there on my top 5 things that I absolutely love. And if I had a clinic where I would treat patients in my clinic, this would definitely be part of the regimen. All right, till next week. Love you guys. Bye.